Hello, happy Thursday. It's Dr. Andrea with Restoration Chiropractic. It's Awareness with Andrea, the Thursday edition. Today's Awareness with Andrea is brought to you by the book, The Woman in the Window, because that's our next book for the book club. We had a great meeting last night. We discussed Becoming by Michelle Obama. It was a fun and lively discussion with lots of great snacks and good wine. And if you look at the flowers behind me, those were brought to me, and I just really appreciate my community. So it was a lot of fun. I want to talk to you a little bit about today about scoliosis. Hey, everybody. Hi, Erica. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Vicky. I want to talk to you a little bit about scoliosis. There are a couple of different kinds of scoliosis, and whether or not they can be significantly helped is going to be different depending on the kind of scoliosis there are. So first of all, I want to go over a couple of terms. What is a scoliosis? So the spine naturally does curve like in this plane. So for example, there's a curve in your neck and then a curve in your mid back and then a curve in your low back. And if you're in this plane, that's normal. But if you're looking at somebody this way and there's a curvature this way, that is not normal. That's called a scoliosis. And there is a term that you often hear in terms of the medical community. It's idiopathic. And idiopathic just means we don't know. So a lot of times teenagers will be diagnosed with idiopathic scoliosis. And that means that we don't know why they have scoliosis. So I'm not even going to get into the fact that there is a diagnosis with the word idiopathic, which means we don't know. I just think that's stupid, but we're not going to get into that. So, I mean, like really, if you're going to diagnose something, at least give a reason, not we don't know why it's that way. Like idiopathic hypertension, we don't know why you have hypertension. You have hypertension because your blood vessels aren't working the way they're supposed to because of lifestyle stresses, but whatever. Okay, so this is me on my soapbox. It cracks me up. All right, so idiopathic scoliosis. Sometimes when a person is born, their vertebrae, rather than being like a square, can actually be wedged on one side. And so when it's wedged on one side, what will happen is the bone above it will move off into an angle, and that will create a scoliosis because the brain has to be level, the eyes have to be level to the horizon, so the spine will curve back up in order to make the neurology the way it's supposed to be. So that would be an example of a scoliosis where we know why it's happening, and it's probably going to be pretty hard to correct that. But then I'm also going to suggest maybe we don't want to correct that, because if we correct it, the body is adapting to a problem internally, and that adaptation is a really healthy sign. Like that's a sign of a very healthy nervous system. So if there is a wedge on a vertebrae and the spine is going this way and then it curves back to keep the eyes level with the horizon, man, I don't think we should correct that. We should leave it alone because the body knows what it is doing. However, let's imagine, hey, Erica, that's right, preach it. They should not have a diagnosis that has the words I don't know in it. Okay, let's imagine the hips then are like this, and let's imagine one hip kind of shifts. Now, do you see when I do that, how this side now looks higher than this side, all right? Just because it's shifted. And now if that's higher, what's going to happen is it's going to unbalance the pelvis, and the spine is going to come out, not grow, but it's going to come out of it kind of at this, at this angle. Do you see that? And so then the spine's coming out at this angle. What's it going to do? It's going to curve because neurologically the eyes have to be level to the horizon. So voila, all of a sudden now we have a scoliosis. Now that would be called a functional scoliosis. It's doing something. It's correcting a problem in the body. It's solving a problem. It's functional. So how do we help that? Well, we get this balanced out, okay? And over time, once this balances out, the scoliosis will correct itself. Now, the other thing too is the scoliosis can start from the top of the skull. So let's say C1, which is the very top bone of the neck, let's say it misaligns. What will happen is the nervous system control below that area will not be communicating quite the way it's supposed to. So that misalignment can create a situation where the brain is trying to talk to the body, and rather than the communication being clear, like you being able to hear me, it's It's more like I put my hand over my mouth, I'm trying to talk to you and you can't understand it. And so what will happen is then, because of that miscommunication, the muscles below that area may not work evenly, and it could create a scoliosis in the other direction. So what I want you to really understand is, if you have a child who's been diagnosed with scoliosis, we need to look at the whole picture. We need to look at their entire spinal health to see, is there the pelvis imbalance? Is there an imbalance in the upper part of the neck? Do they have some sort of a like wedged vertebrae or some sort of a like birth issue that is creating the situation? Because if that's the case, then maybe we want to leave the scoliosis alone. But if it's functional, absolutely we can solve it. Now, I will let you know, I had a couple of x-rays taken of me earlier this week, and I actually have a little bit of a scoliosis with some rotation. It's going to be functional. I'm doing like a little bit of a like rib thing right now. But I was like, my body is telling me like it's really out of balance. So now I'm going to be focusing very strongly in the next several months on getting my body balanced back out. So just know that the body is a living, breathing organism. Ha ha ha. No, the body is an adapting organism. It is always changing. It is adapting to the environment, and it is solving problems that it runs into, and it is incredibly, incredibly smart. But it is not stagnant. It will change based on the stresses that you put it under. It will change based on how physically active you are, if your muscles are imbalanced. All of that stuff will actually change your physical structure. And to be healthy, you do want a very, very healthy spine, a very resilient nervous system, and you want it to be adapting the way it's supposed to. Any questions about that, pop them in the box. I hope all of our dads have an amazing Father's Day. I'm dropping my girls off to their dad Saturday evening so they can wake up with him. And then my husband's kids, not my stepson because he's in New York with his mom, but my husband's other two kids and I, we're going to take him to the beach for the day. We've got a nice beachfront lunch scheduled at about 2 p.m, and I'm really looking forward to just relaxing this weekend. So I hope you guys have a fabulous Father's Day. Remember, always be grateful, have fun, and love lots. It's Dr. Andrea with Restoration Chiropractic in Calabasas, and I will catch you next week. Bye.